Pete Rose is in to lead it off. Naylor rocks to the line. The pitch is taken down low for a ball, and this game is underway. Rose batting .305 and hoping to have a better series in Atlanta than he did in San Diego, where despite hitting the ball hard at times, was only 1 for 12. He fouls this one off to the right and just above us and out of play as the count evens at 1-1. So Pete's still standing at 191 base hits in his quest for a ninth 200-hit campaign. .305, 9 homers, and 61 RBIs. Naylor presents a very imposing figure on the mound. He comes back to the plate. A bouncing ball hit the third. Bunnell with a throw across the diamond to Montañez, and that's the first out of the ball game.
Marty, just in watching Naylor in the first few pitches, it looks like really nothing overpowering, a lot of motion, and it looks like you're going to have to stay back just a bit on. Kind of reminds you of Jim Cott a little bit in the way he delivers the baseball.
Well, he's retired one 300-plus hitter and now facing another one in Ken Griffey, hitting at .321. In fact, Griffey and Joe Morgan now tied for club leadership in terms of batting average. Griffey has homered 11 times with 53 runs batted in. The pitch to him is too much inside a ball. Willie Montañez at first, Jerry Royster at second. The shortstop is Pat Rocket. The third baseman is Milford, Ohio's Barry Bunnell. Take a look at the outfield defensively in a moment. That is on the outside for a called strike, and the count is even at 1. In left field, Gary Matthews. In center, Roland Office. And in right field, Jeff Burrows with Dale Murphy behind the plate and Mickey Mahler, M-A-H-L-E-R, on the mound. Joe Morgan on deck as Griffey awaits Naylor's 1-1 pitch, and here it is. Swing and a half swing it was, and a foul ball out of here. So Mahler with a count advantage at a ball, 2 strikes. We'll be seeing a couple of veteran Atlanta starters after tonight's game. Dick Ruthven tomorrow night and Phil Niekro on Sunday afternoon. Fine pitching matchup on Sunday. Low and inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. It'll be Tom Seaver after his 20th victory on Sunday against Phil Niekro, who will be shooting for career victory number 179 that would move him into second place on the all-time Braves win list with Lou Burdett. A curve is down and outside, and Griffey has worked a full count from the Atlanta left-hander, 3-2. Tomorrow night, Tommy Hume will be going against Dick Ruthven. Griffey out of the batter's box, now climbs back in as he looks out toward the mound. The rookie Murphy hangs a sign for the rookie Mahler, and the payoff pitch is a half-swing foul ball. Griffey against Atlanta pitching has had 15 hits and 34 times up, 1 home run and 5 RBIs. The Rose is grounded out to third to start the game, and a holding 3-ball, 2-strike count on Ken Griffey. Naylor winds, kicks, and fires, and that one is lined into the glove of Willie Montañez at first base. Kenny hit an absolute rope as he pulled Naylor hard, but to the glove side and picked off by first baseman Montañez. 2 down. That'll bring up Joe Morgan. Morgan batting .295 with 22 homers and 76 runs batted in as Naylor tries to retire the Reds in order here. Jerry Crawford, our plate umpire tonight, with Joe West at first, Jim Quick at second, and crew chief Ed Sudol at third base. Here's a pitch to Morgan and taken for a strike. Interesting, this was the umpiring crew that we had in San Francisco last weekend. Sudol with that controversial safe call on Madlock's ground to the third in the 9th inning. Here's a bouncing ball to the right side. Royster has it go off his glove in shallow right. Morgan a 2-out base runner, and let's see how they score that. Probably a base hit for Joe Morgan. Well, they scored an error against Jerry Royster, who had a long way to go off to his left with that ball. Rather than a base hit for Morgan, they charge an error against Royster, and that's going to keep the inning going for George Foster. Of course, Sparky Anderson, and again alluding to the situation last Sunday in San Francisco, was incensed over Sudol's call that paved the way for a game-winning base hit by Willie McCovey. The Reds knew that this umpiring crew was going to be in Atlanta. So Sparky Anderson saw fit not to bring the lineups to home plate tonight. Instead allowing first base coach Russ Nixon to do it. Otherwise, he might have been thrown out of the game before it ever started. Here's Foster now with Morgan at first. The pitch is swung on and a very high foul pop will be out of play to the right. Of all the players on the Reds team, this man has been simply awesome against Atlanta pitching. Of his 49 home runs, 8 have come against the Braves, 20 of his 142 runs batted in. And he's had 17 hits and 49 times up against them. A 4-for-4 day against San Diego yesterday, 3 singles and a double, raising his batting average to .321 and giving him 188 hits for the season. Morgan a good lead at first as Mailer works high for a ball 1-1. So the Reds have 2 players going into the final 8 games of the season that have shots at 200 base hits. Rose at 191 and Foster at 188. Gary Matthews very deep in left field as his office in center and Burrows in right. The pitch. That one fouled straight back and out of here. And the Reds drawing the measure of Mickey Mailer here in the first inning. He retired Rose on a ground out. Griffey on a line drive to first. Morgan reaches on the questionable scoring decision, an error charged against Jerry Royster. And Foster behind at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Mailer stretches, looks to first base, and now he'll throw that way. Now time is called as Dale Murphy goes out to the mound to talk with his pitcher. Braves coming off of a winning ball game that wrapped up a road trip in Houston for them last night. They beat ace James Rodney Richard 8-4 in the Astrodome. While the Reds, of course, were losing for only the second time in 8 games on this road trip, 3-1 to Bob Shirley, Raleigh Fingers, and the San Diego Padres. Meeting breaking up. Murphy back behind the plate. Here comes the throw to first base again. Morgan getting a good challenging lead against Mailer. And twice now he's thrown to first base. We're in the top of the first inning. 2 down, a runner aboard. Here's a pitch, and Foster strikes out swinging as Mailer gave him a big motion and hit him with a slow breaking ball. In the inning, no runs, no hits, 1 error with 1 man left on, and after a half inning of play in Atlanta Stadium, the Reds nothing, and the Braves are coming to bat.
Real beer lovers know that means so. Don't play that country sound as the freight takes around from one beer lover to another show. For more than 200 years, the Stroke band has been making great beer, taking pride in what they're doing it their own way, doing it the Stroke way. So play that country sound as the freight takes around. Real beer lovers know. Real beer lovers know that means so. This is the old stuttering boy, Mel Hillis for Stroh's Brewery, Detroit, Michigan.
Well, the Reds will be back at Riverfront Stadium Tuesday night for the start of the last homestand of the season. First, the Padres are in town for a couple of weeknight games, Tuesday and Wednesday. And then it's the Braves for the final weekend of the year, including Fan Appreciation Day on Sunday, October 2nd. Purchase tickets in advance at the Reds Ticket Agency nearest you, in Hamilton at Clark Sporting Goods, in Middletown at Montgomery Ward, in Springfield at Sears, in Richmond at Phillips Drug, and in Frankfort at Sears. Whereas the first pitching appearance ever for Mickey Mailer against the Cincinnati Reds, the same also could be said for our starting pitcher tonight, right-hander Paul Mosco against this Atlanta club. Paul with a record of 4 wins and 6 losses as he makes his 18th start overall with a complete game, and he shows a 4.5 earned run average. His last outing, he was not the pitcher of record. That was the game last Sunday that the Reds dropped to the San Francisco Giants out at Candlestick 3-2, but boy, pitched extremely well that afternoon, giving him 8 hits and 2 runs, only 1 of them earned. In 7 1/3 innings, Paul struck out 4 and walked 4, so had one good pitching performance by this young man, although it was a no-decision effort by him, and hopefully we'll get that kind of pitching performance out of him tonight. Right now, the plate umpire, Jerry Crawford, walking down the line from third base with plate umpire Ed Sudol, and now signaling, apparently, for Sparky Anderson to come out of the dugout. Sudol wants to chat with Sparky for a moment, and I know that Sparky's not real thrilled about this because Ed Sudol is not his most popular person at this time. What the conversation could be about, we have no idea, but at least on the surface, an amiable get-together between Mr. Sudol and Mr. Anderson. Ed heading on back to his position as the third base umpire as Anderson returns to the dugout. Crawford to the plate. And to lead it off for the Atlanta Braves, it'll be second baseman Jerry Royster. Royster hitting .217, 4 homers, 23 RBIs. Right-handed batter, former Dodger. Mosco to the wind, his pitch, and Royster tries to bunt his way aboard, but instead fouls it directly back and out of play. It'll be Royster, Office, and Burroughs here in the bottom of the first. Jerry back in the batter's box as the Reds outfield plays him pretty much straight away. The pitch misses the outside corner as the count evens at 1-1. Mosco working quickly, and Royster fouls this one to the screen. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Reds with a record of 82 wins and 72 losses in second place with a lead of 5 games over the third-place Houston Astros, who are at 576 and 76. Atlanta, of course, in the basement of the West. Curveball is down and outside, 2-2. Braves are 59 and 94, and really have no hope, I would think, of getting out of their present cellar-dwelling position in the Western Division, being 33 and a half games behind the Dodgers, while fifth-place San Diego is 27 back, so San Diego with a 6.5 game lead over the Braves, a separation between 5th and 6th. Royster coming back now to the on-deck circle as he waits apparently to get a new bat. And conferring while he's standing over there with the on-deck batter, Roland Office. Two balls, 2 strikes to the Atlanta leadoff batter, Jerry Royster. Reds scoreless in the top of the first inning, although Morgan reached on a 2-out error by Royster. Mickey Mailer with a strikeout swinging against George Foster. Now Royster steps away as Mosco, hands on hips, waits for the batter to get back in there. Looking into Don Werner, and now ready with a 2-2 pitch. Outside, full count. Paul is, at times, and especially lately, over the last maybe 3 weeks, has had rough going in the early innings, especially in the first and second. Here's a bouncing ball to shortstop. Concepcion kicks it around, recovers, throws, not in time. Davey got caught betwixt and between on that rock-hard Atlanta infield. Had the ball fall away from him. He recovered quickly with a sidearm throw to Dreesen, but Royster can run pretty well, and they're going to score that on infield base hit.
Marty, that's really the only thing Davey could do was charge the ball. If he stays back, Royster beats it easily, and he just had to gamble there that he would come up with it and be able to throw him out. But if that's a hit, then Bill Morgan's had a hit.
No question. An infield base hit it is for Royster. It brings up the left-handed batting center fielder Office. Having an off year, Roland, after a fine season at the plate last year, batting but .245 right now. He swings with a fastball, grounds to Morgan, on to Concepcion, quick throwing to Dreesen, double play. 4-6-3, a tailor-made double play ground ball off the bat of Office, and it goes Morgan, Concepcion to Dreesen. So with 2 down and nothing going on, it'll bring up right fielder Jeff Burroughs. This reminder, lots of prizes and big fun for everybody. That's Fan Appreciation Day when the Reds meet the Braves Sunday, October 2nd at Riverfront. Be on hand. Plenty of seats available. This series matches the 2 top home run hitters in all of Major League Baseball. George Foster with 49, and this man, Jeff Burroughs, in his first year in the National League, has done what Ted Turner and Dave Bristol said he would do with this Atlanta club and in this ballpark, and that's hit 40 home runs. He's hit 40 right on the button. The first pitch to him is below the knees for a ball. 2 out, bases empty, Rose deep, and shading Burroughs a bit toward the line as Mosco goes behind at 2 balls and no strikes. Jeff hitting .277, and along with the 40 homers, he's knocked in 113 runs, which is good enough for third place in the league behind Foster and Philadelphia's Greg Luzinski, who's driven in 121. That's a bouncer to the box. Moscow spears a hard one-hopper above the head and throws him out at first base. For the Braves, no runs, a base hit, nobody left on. We have completed one. It's the Reds nothing and the Braves nothing. One final scoring for the major leagues this afternoon. The Pittsburgh Pirates kept their faint National League East Division title hopes alive as they shut out the Chicago Cubs 2-0. Jim Rooker with plenty of relief help in that game. Kent DeCalvey and Rich Gossage gained his 13th victory of the year against 9 losses. A loser in relief, Willie Hernandez, 8-7. Eddard had the game-winning blow, an 8th-inning 2-run homer, his 7th of the season. Philadelphia losing 3 out of the last 4 at Montreal tonight. Christensen against Rogers. The Cardinals at New York, L.A. at Houston, and San Francisco at San Diego. That's the National League look. Here's Johnny Bench as we go to the top of the second. John batting .278 with 29 homers and 102 RBIs. Naylor to the plate, and Bench with a swing and a long drive foul to left field. Bench, Concepcion, and Dreesen, hopefully more. John hitting .327 over the last 16 games, in which he has hit safely in 13 of them. And he's hit in 26 out of the last 31, batting .337. Fastball away evens accounted 1-1. He's had 4 home runs against this Atlanta pitching staff this season. Naylor with a pitch, and Bench with a take. Strike is called by Jerry Crawford, and John did not agree with the call. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bench again in left field tonight. Low and outside, 2-2, and Sparky says that now with a couple of right-handers going tomorrow and Sunday, Ruthven and Necro, that Bench will go back behind the plate for the first time in about a week. Be back there tomorrow night and also on Sunday afternoon. 2-2 the count. Bench waiting. He swings and drills one into right center field. Office on his horse now calling as he slows to a trot and puts it away. Center fielder Roland Office makes the catch of Johnny Bench's fly ball for out number 1. It brings to the plate the Red shortstop, Dave Concepcion. David hitting in 11 of 12 games and .385 with 20 for 52, a .274 average against the league on the season. Low and away, ball 1. Danny Dreesen now moves to the on-deck circle as Naylor kicks and he throws. Concepcion lines one off the tip end of the glove of Jerry Royster, rolling into right center, where the ball is picked up and returned to the infield by Jeff Burrows. That's going to be the first Cincinnati hit. And we'll pause now for station identification on the Cincinnati Reds Baseball Network.
This is your Reds baseball station, WGTC, Bloomington, Indiana. 1 minute until 7. The temperature is 74.
Danny Dreesen standing in as Dave Concepcion takes his lead at first base with the first Reds hit of the night. Danny looks at a strike on the inside. We talk about the work Foster has done against the Braves. Danny Dreesen's figures are eye-popping as well. He's hit 4 homers and driven in 18 runs against this team. Curveball is outside, 1-1. And a batting average of .294 with 16 homers and 83 RBIs. Naylor looking into the Atlanta dugout. Now redirects his attentions back toward the plate and sends a pitch to the plate, and that's high and inside, ball 2, 2-1. Going to be interesting to see if the Reds test the right arm of this young catcher, Dale Murphy. There goes Concepcion. Pitch is taken. Murphy's throw down to second. Goes to center field. Davey gets up, and he will trot on to third. I will tell you a little sidelight concerning Dale Murphy. The Braves had figured that this young man would be solidly their number 1 catcher in 1977. But in spring training, he had unbelievable problems. In fact, it was a mental block with him in throwing down to second base, consistently making throws high and wide of the bag and into center field. It was a mental thing with him, and as a result, they had to send him down to Richmond, where he had an outstanding year at the plate. But the Reds test him early in this game, and he promptly throws the ball into center field as Dave gets a stolen base, his 29th of the year, and moves to third on the catcher's throwing error. Braves infield will now be playing a bit up as Mailer comes with the, well, now he checks off on the mound as he quickly steps back off the rubber and looks over to third. Danny Dreesen, a 2-2 count. The Reds with a chance to get the first run of the game home. Concepcion at third, one down. Here's a pitch. That's inside as Danny steps quickly away. Ball 3, full count. Now the payoff. Dreesen holds up on the swing and apparently held up enough to get the base on balls. Murphy asked for a ruling from third base umpire Ed Sudol. So Dreesen gets the base on balls. That gives the Braves a shot at a ground ball double play situation.
Marty, Jerry Crawford still looking down at Ed Sudol, trying to find out what he thought. And now Ed finally says, no, he didn't.
Well, it looked like he gave some kind of hand motion when Crawford initially looked down there. Apparently, Jerry did not see it, and now Sudol looking into the Reds' dugout and pointing that way. As John Werner steps in, there goes Dreesen. Here's a belt. Back into deep right field. Burroughs goes back short of the warning track to make the catch as Concepcion tags and comes out of the plate to score the first run. The Reds lead at 1-0. On a sacrifice fly to right by Donnie Werner, Dan Dreesen quickly moving back into first base. 2 away in the inning. The batter will be pitcher Paul Mosco. Keep a watchful eye on Mr. Sudol because somebody is gaining his attention on a regular basis in the Cincinnati dugout, and I don't think it would be too hard to figure out who it is. Here's Mosco with a skimmer to second. Royster makes a pickup, underhands to the shortstop Rocket for the force out, and the inning is over. But the Reds get 1 run on 1 hit, one big Atlanta error that paved the way for the run, and 1 man left on. In the middle of the second, in Atlanta Stadium, the Reds won and the Braves nothing. Well, it won't be long before the Christmas shopping season is upon us, and the Reds remind you that the ball club's official 580 gift shop is a great place to find distinctive and unique gifts for those baseball fans on your Christmas list. How about an official Reds cap, just like the one the players wear, or one of the Reds Rooter packs? The Reds Rooter pack makes the perfect gift for children of any age, even big children like Mom and Dad and Grandma and Grandpa. And 580 has lots of inexpensive things to use as stocking stuffers, too. Stop by soon or call or write the Reds office for a list of all the Reds gift items and souvenirs by mail from the Reds 580 gift shop. 1-0 our side as we go to the home half of the second. Montañez, Matthews, Murphy is how the Braves will stack up. Paul Mosco giving up an infield hit to start off the Braves' first inning to Jerry Royster, but then inducing Roland Office to hit into a double play and got Jeff Burroughs on a comebacker to the mound, and right now waiting for Montañez to get settled in. Willie hitting .284 with 19 home runs. He's driven in 64. Left-handed batting Braves first baseman, and the pitch to him is taken high, ball 1. On the inside corner, a taken strike. Reds win tonight. They will go 11 over the 500 mark for the 3rd time this season. They were 11 over before the loss to the San Diego Padres yesterday. Curve for strike 2. Montañez is yet to take the bat off of his shoulder, and Mosco out in front. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Donnie Werner hangs a sign. Here comes a pitch. Fastball is up and outside. 2-2. Willie has hit in 6 out of his last 7 games. 14 for 29, a torrid .483 average with 7 RBIs. He hammers one off the bat handle and back onto the screen. Count holding 2 balls, 2 strikes. The outfield deep, Griffey especially so, in right field. There's ball 3 outside and a full count. Gary Matthews on deck, and the payoff pitch is fouled back. Montañez with that good, quick bat. This guy pretty much be counted on year in and year out to hit anywhere from 280 up. Good, solid, consistent hitter. Was with the Giants and has been with this Atlanta club. Again, the payoff pitch to him, and he bounces one slowly but foul off first base. So Montañez proving to be a tough out for Paul Mosco as the count holds at 3 balls and 2 strikes. In the American League in the first, Baltimore and Cleveland 0-0. Milwaukee, Minnesota rained out. The Yankees at Toronto tonight, and Boston at Detroit. The Red Sox suffering a critical defeat last evening to the Tigers. Here's a high foul pop off third, Rose over near the railing and makes the catch on the warning track. Montañez fouls out, and leading off the second, that'll bring up Gary Matthews, the left fielder. Boston losing 5-4 to Detroit last night, as the Red Sox saw the Tigers come up with 4 big runs in the 7th inning to get a come-from-behind victory, while Baltimore continued to truck right along. They shut out beat the Toronto Blue Jays. Matthews takes ball 1. Gary batting .282. He's driven in 58 runs, has hammered 14 home runs. He swings and he misses at the fastball away. So the American League East race continues to be quite tight. Baltimore a game and a half back. Boston now 3 outs. 2 balls and 1 strike to count on Matthews. Kansas City, all they need to do is win one or have Texas lose one, and they will clinch the Western Division title. Strike is called, 2-2. Philadelphia's magic number for winning the Eastern Division remains at 4 in our league. Pirates have already won today, and the Phillies, as we both pointed out, playing at Montreal. Full count. Well, Mosco has gone full on both hitters here in the second. The Reds leading 1-0. Werner's sacrifice fly in the top of the inning, scoring Concepcion. Here's a grounder pull foul at third base. Dale Murphy on deck. Mosco with a payoff, and Matthews swings and fouls it back. Talk about the fact that we'll have Fan Appreciation Day a week from Sunday, our final game of the year. The Braves will be celebrating Fan Appreciation Day this coming Sunday in the series wrap-up against the Reds. 3-2 and holding on Matthews. He bounces to short. Concepcion plays it on the second bounce and guns him out at first base. 2 away. Here's Dale Murphy. Since his call-up from Richmond, Murphy hitting .289 with 2 homers, 7 RBIs. Both of his home runs came in one game. That was out at San Diego, and his second long ball in that particular contest won it in extra innings. Game that saw the Braves behind 7-1 going to the 7th inning against Randy Jones. And Murphy was a batting star that night. He fouls it back. There are those who feel that if there is another Johnny Bench on the horizon, this young man is it. But he's got to conquer those throwing problems that plagued him early this season, and they feel like if he can do that, he's going to be some kind of player. He fouls it down the right field line. There'll be no play on that ball, and Mosco ahead as rookie faces rookie. 2 strikes. Murphy at the plate, 0-2. Barry Bonnell, the third baseman, on deck. Mosco pitches and misses away for a ball, 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strikeout swinging. Mosco has his first of the night, and the Braves go meekly out 1-2-3 in the second. So at the end of 2 complete, the Reds won and Atlanta nothing. Well, we carry a 1-0 lead into the third inning where it's going to be the top of the order up against Mickey Mailer. And here to call the action for you, Joe Nuxall.
All right, Marty, for those of you who score along with us in the first inning, the error charge to Jerry Royster on Joe Morgan's ball, you can change that to a base hit for Morgan. Take the error away from Jerry Royster and credit Joe Morgan with a base hit. Rose, Griffey, Morgan here in the third. The Reds leading 1-0. Pete bounced to Waddell at third base, leading off the ball game. Horace Rhodes needs 9 hits to reach that 200 mark again. Mickey Mailer has given the Reds 2 hits and has struck out 1. Has not walked the batter. And the first pitch to Rose. The bunt attempt is fouled off to the left of the plate and stops untouched. 0-1. Outfield is straight away to Pete. Mailer stands 6'3", weighs 190 pounds, and seems to turn the ball over quite often, although he's not hit that many ground balls as yet. But here's his 0-1 to Pete. Fastball outside. 1-1. Mailer back to the plate. Rose swings, bounces up the middle into center field, a base hit, and that's 182. Rolling off, it plays it, and Rose makes the big turn. 192 hits now for Pete on the year as he leads off here in the third with a base hit to center. And Ken Griffey, the batter. Kenny lined hard to Montañez at first base in the first inning, and he's hitting .321. 11 home runs, 53 RBI. Mailer has the sign from Murphy. A stretch in the pitch. Griff swings and chops it foul along the first base line. 0-1 the count. Braves 59-94 on the year. This is their 154th game. The Reds playing number 155 here at 82-72. Mailer to the belt, checks. Rose delivers. Griffey a half swing. Did he go far enough? Apparently not. It's 1-1. A ball, a strike. Waiting on Griffey to step back into the batter's box. He's there, and Mailer sets. Delivers. Griffey again, this time trying to bunt the pitch in on him, and he had to get out of there in a hurry. The count goes 2-1 now to Ken. George Sugar checking with Sparky Anderson, and now Spice is assigned to Ken Griffey. Sugar, of course, gets all the signs from Sparky in the dugout and then relays them. Now 2 balls to strike. And the 2-1. Griff takes, strike 2 called, and it evens at 2-2. Rose at first base. Pete led off the inning with a single to center field. Now the 2-2. Griffey swings and a 1 bouncer. Royster. He goes to the shortstop Rocket, but the throw back to first, not in time. So Kenny again hits the ball hard, and coming up head high to Royster, throwing on to Rocket to force Rose, but the relay to first not in time. So Griffey at first base with 1 out now, and Joe Morgan the batter. Joe, a base hit in the first inning, a ball that was hit wide to Royster's left at second base, got the glove on it, couldn't control it. Pitch to Morgan inside the ball. Base hit for Morgan is Joe's 148th of the year. There's a pitch inside, and Joe almost jumped over the ball as he got out of the way, and it's 2 balls, no strikes. George Foster waiting on deck. Mailer set. Checks Griffey and throws over to first base. Kenny steps back. 2-0 the count. Mailer sets. And the pitch. High and inside. 3 balls, no strikes. Now the 3-0. That's in for a called strike. 3-1. Griffey at first leads. Count 3-1 to Morgan. Mailer delivers. Morgan swings and pops it up. On the first baseline, Willie Martinez in fair territory makes the one-handed grab about halfway down the line. A 2 out, and that'll bring Foster to the plate. George struck out in the first inning to end the inning. Foster hitting .321, 49 homers and 142 RBI. Mailer sets. Still holding, and now Foster backs away from the plate. 2 out with Griffey at first. Reds leading 1-0, scoring an unearned run in the second inning. Pitch to Foster, low and outside, a ball, 1-0. Outfield straight away to George. And the 1-0. Foster takes a strike on the outside corner. 1-1. Taylor taking something off that pitch. Taylor checking with his catcher Murray. Has his sign. And the pitch. Swung on, fouled out of play. The count. A ball, 2 strikes now to George Foster. Murphy hangs the sign for Mickey Mailer. And the stretch. 1-2 delivery. Swung on. That's grounded by Bunnell into left field, a base hit. Griffey to second makes the turn as Matthews is up for the ball and returns it to the infield. Hit number 4 for the Reds, and Johnny Bench the batter. Foster, that's 189 this season. John needs 11 more in 4+ games. It'll make that 8+ games. Griffey second, Foster at first. Bench. The fly ball to right center field leading off the second. The pitch to John. He takes low and outside the ball. Mailer to the belt. And delivers. Off-speed pitch hits the outside edge. It's called strike. 1-1. A ball, a strike to count. Bench takes the breaking ball down low. 2-1. Kenny Griffey second base. George Foster at first. Reds leading at 1-0. They've had 4 hits in the game off Mickey Mailer. Half of them coming here in the inning. Mailer the stretch and bluffs back to second. And Griffey just casually walks back. Now again the stretch and the pitch to John taken outside. 3 balls, 1 strike. We got Dave Concepcion on guest. All right, Mailer ready. Is 3-1. Then swings on it and a very high pop right side. Willie Montanez and Royster after Montanez makes the play along the right field line in fair territory. So the Reds in the inning, no runs, a couple of hits, but no errors, 2 runners left on base, and at the middle of the third, Reds 1, Braves nothing. Out for the Braves in the bottom half of the third. It'll be the bottom 3 in their order: Bonnell, Rocket, and Mailer. Barry Bonnell hitting .295 with a home run and 41 RBIs, 10 doubles. Of course, Barry missed quite a bit of the season due to injury. You know, heck of a job after being called up this year. Barry makes his home in Milford, Ohio. Paul Moscow has allowed a hit, has struck out one through the first 2 innings. Moscow winds his first pitch to Bonnell. He bluffs the bunt and takes outside a ball. Paul looking for his 5th win of the year. He's 4-6. The 1-0 to Bonnell. Curve, a called strike, 1-1. Moscow has the sign and delivers. Going outside with a fastball. 2 balls to strike to Bonnell. Pat Rocket, the shortstop, on deck. All working quickly. His fastball is in for a called strike. It's the inside corner. Count evens 2-2. And the pitch swung on and lined into right field, a base hit. As if he overplays it, and as Bonnell makes the turn, and he'll hold at first base for the second hit of the ball game. Actually, Bonnell check swing and lines it into right field for hit number 2 for the Braves off Paul Moscow. That'll bring shortstop Pat Rocket to the plate. Rocket hitting .268, 23 RBIs, and 10 doubles. Moscow the stretch, and the pitch. Rocket takes a curve. Called strike. Dick Ruthven and Tommy Hume tomorrow night. Pitch, Bonnell goes, ball swung on, grabbed by Dreesen, and steps on the bag, and Bonnell moves on to second base. Hit and run on, and Rocket hitting the ball right along the line. Danny picking the ball up in front of the first base bag and stepping on it, but no throw to second base. So Rocket out, 3 unassisted. Dreesen 1 away, Bonnell on at second, and it'll be Mickey Mailer, and a left-handed batter. Moscow has his sign to the belt, delivers. Down low, and it's 1-1. Barry Bonnell now with a 13-game hitting streak. Pitch to Mailer, swung on and hit down the left side, twisting into foul territory. Bents over into the dugout, but in the Reds bullpen, of course, if he would have caught the ball, I don't think it would have counted because of the white line that runs from the edge of the picnic area down to the corner of the Reds dugout in the bullpen. Out of the count, a ball, 2 strikes to Mickey Mailer as Don Werner is out talking with Paul, now back behind the plate. Barry Bonnell at second base with 1 out. Reds lead it 1-0. Stretch of the pitch, and that just misses low. Count evens 2-2. the belt, now steps back off the pitching rubber, and Mailer out of the batter's box. He's back in. 2-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled. Count holding 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, in the American League, in the East, third inning at Cleveland, Cleveland, no score, and in the second inning at Toronto, New York leads the Blue Jays by a score of 2-1. Again, the 2-2. Inside with a breaking pitch. Full count. Jerry Royster waiting on deck. All right, Moscow ready with a payoff. Here it is. Set, swung on and fouled. Mickey Mailer making Paul Moscow work here in the third inning. Count full to him. He's fouled off 2 or 3 strikes before the count going full. Paul has his sign. The stretch. And again the 3-2. That's check swing ground ball. Concepcion has it. Running throw to Dreesen. They get him as Bonnell holds at second base. A 2 away now, and Jerry Royster, the batter. Royster, an infield single in the first inning, leading off the game for the Braves. He chopped one to Concepcion at short. Dave charging the ball and just had to gamble on whether he would field it or not, and was unable to come up with a clean, and Royster rather beat it out for a base hit. Jerry hitting .219 with 4 home runs and 23 RBIs. Moscow delivers, and Royster swings and fouls. Darrell Cheney. Darrell's played in just 72 games this year for the Braves with a .198 batting average. Darrell has had problems with a bone spur on his heel, and quite painful for him. Now 0-1 to Jerry Royster. Barry Bonnell at second base with 2 out as Lance Bristol, Dave's young son, is Jerry Crawford, a new supply of baseballs. Outfield playing Royster straight away. A stretch. The pitch. That swung on and backhanded by Concepcion. Line field got him. And a fine play by David. A low liner that Concepcion backhanded on the short hop and came up and threw Royster out by a step. So a good play by Concepcion to retire the side for the Braves. No runs, a hit, no errors, a runner left on base. The end of 3, the Reds won, the Braves nothing. For the Reds in the 4th inning, Dave Concepcion will lead it off, and then it'll be Danny Dreesen and Donnie Warner. Davey, a single in the 2nd inning, stole second, moved to third on a throwing error by Murphy, and scored on the fly ball off the bat of Don Warner. First pitch to Dave, low and outside a ball. Mickey Mailer has allowed 4 hits. Struck out 1, and he's outside again. 2 balls, no strikes to Concepcion. Dave hitting .275. Had 8 home runs, the 8th coming yesterday in San Diego. Pitch to him, he tried to check his swing but can't. And I think Dave was guessing here, going for the long one. So the count goes 2-1. Won the count to Concepcion. Davey out of the batter's box, now back in. Dale Murphy hangs the sign, and here's the 2-1. Swung on, ground ball. Martinez can't get through it. It's into right field, a base hit. Willie made a dive for the ball, but could not get to it, and Dave has his 2nd hit of the game, and the 5th off Mickey Mailer. That'll bring Danny Dreesen to the plate. Dan walked in the 2nd inning. And hitting .294. 16 home runs and 83 RBIs. Mailer ready, and his pitch. Taken inside the ball. Concepcion leads in a throw, but a first now throws it wild, and David on his way to second. He'll make third easily. Running the ball down, Jerry Royster, and Dave into third base standing. So Mickey Mailer throws the ball by Willie Montañez, and Concepcion moves all the way to third base. So an error charge to Mailer, the second of the ball game for the Braves, and got a ball, no strikes to Dreesen, and Concepcion now at third base. The second error. Now, maybe if you didn't hear us, in the first inning, Joe Morgan hit a ball off to the left of Jerry Royster. Royster knocked down, and the original scoring was an error, but they have changed that to a base hit for Joe. Pitch to Dreesen. Danny swings and hits it into right field. Drifting back, Jeff Burrows. He's to the warning track, has room, makes the play, tagging his Concepcion. He'll score, and the Reds lead it 2-0. For Danny, his 84th RBI of the year. Right now, that an unearned run. One out, base is now empty, and Don Werner to the plate. Don, a sacrifice fly in the second inning to score Concepcion with our first run. He tries a bunt and foul. Barry Vanell playing very deep at third base, and Don Werner trying to take advantage of it. All right, Mailer delivers, and it's swung on and lined to center field, a base hit. So Werner has his first hit of the ball game. He makes the wide turn at first. Office returns to the infield, and the Reds with 6 hits off Mickey Mailer. And brings Paul Moscow to the plate. Paul forced Dreesen at second base to end the second inning. A pitch to Moscow. He squares the bunt and does but foul first base side. One at first base with one out. The Reds have scored a run here in the inning. Paul hitting .212 as he goes down to Sugar to have a meeting. Now the meeting breaks up and Paul back to the plate. Werner leads at first. Mailer the stretch and the pitch. Paul takes strike 2 call in the knees and the outside edge. 0-2. Pete Rose waiting on deck. Swing and a bouncer. Bunnell at third has it. Throws back to second, and there'll be no relay as Werner gets there in a hurry to break up the double play attempt by the Braves. So a force of Werner at second goes Bunnell to Jerry Royster. 5-4, 2 out. Moscow now at first base, and Pete Rose the batter. Pete 1 for 2. He singled his last time up in the third inning. Paul Moscow getting the windbreaker from Russ Nixon on at first base. He's now with 192 hits. Now needs 8 more to reach that magic 200 mark. The stretch pitch to Rose, low ball. He's with 9 home runs, 61 RBIs, and a .306 batting average. Mailer set. His pitch. Outside, 2 balls to a strike. Reds leading 2-0. A run in the second. They have picked up 1 here in the third, or in the fourth, rather. Moscow at first base. The count 2 balls, no strikes to Rose. Mailer steps That's off the pitching rubber. Willie Montanez playing behind Paul Mosco. 2-0 to Pete. Going inside. Count goes 3-0. Steve Rose has the green light. He appeared to have it, but the pitch is high and outside. Ball 4, and that's the first walk issued by Mickey Mailer. Rose that make that the second Dreesen walk back in the second inning. Well, he got him at first and second now as Mosco moves on to second base. Rose at first, and Ken Griffey, the batter. Ken has hit the ball hard both times up. A hard liner to Montanez in the first inning, and then a hard one bounce to Royster in the third. The pitch to Kenny is taken on the outside edge, a called strike. Miller looking to Murphy as catcher, has the sign. And the 0-1. Griff swings on it, lines it to the left field, and there Gary Matthews makes the one-handed catch, and that's the inning. The Reds in the inning. Got a run on 2 hits, 1 error, and 2 runners left on base, and at the middle of the 4th, the Reds 2, the Braves nothing. For Atlanta in the 4th, it'll be Roland Office, Jeff Burrows, and Willie Montanez. Office hit into a 4-6-3 double play in the first inning after Royster's single. Owen hitting .245, 5 home runs, and 39 RBI. Hayes was 1 hit off. He's got 2 hits off Paul Mosco. Royster's single in the first inning, and Bunnell singled in the third. Paul has struck out 1. He's not walked the batter. Reds leading it 2-0. Office, a left-handed batter. Paul Mosco about ready to go to work. First pitch on the way, and Office takes a called strike. Fairly decent crowd here at Atlanta Stadium tonight. The 0-1 to Office. He gets the inside corner with a fastball and a called strike, 0-2. And Roland kind of walks away and says, well, maybe it was. The ball quickly out in front, 0-2 to Office. He delivers. Curve is swung on and bounced wide to first. Morgan has it. He'll throw to Mosco. Good play. Perfect timing. Morgan going off to his left, turning and throwing to Paul, who is moving, and an absolutely perfect throw, and 1 out. Play goes 4-1. Morgan to Mosco. Allowing Jeff Burrows to the plate. Burrows bounced back to the mound in the first inning. He's second to George Foster in home runs in baseball with 40. George with 49. A line to the pitch, and Burrows takes a strike on the outside edge. Burrows hitting .277. Pitch to him, pitching outside. A change, 1-1. He's driven in 113 runs along with the 40 home runs. Winner hangs the sign. Mosco delivers. Curve. It's 2 balls, 1 strike. Reds outfield straight away to Jeff Burrows. Burrows deep at third. Mosco works. That's swung on and fouled out of play over our head. Not even 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes to Burrows with 1 out here in the 4th for Atlanta. Moscow back to the plate. High and inside, full count. Payoff on the way. That's swung on and a fly ball hit in the right center. Foster tracks it down, now waiting on it, and George has it. He's gone. Two out. Willie Montañez, the first baseman for the Braves, steps in. Willie popped out to Rose in foul territory over near the Reds dugout in the second inning, leading off. Moscow delivers, and Montañez pops it up. Dave Concepcion backpedaling out into shallow left field, waiting on it, and that's the inning. Now, Ben said something to David. They had quite a time in the clubhouse tonight, kidding each other about it. John with a little scar on his nose from the collision yesterday. So in the inning for the Braves, they go out in order, and after 4 innings here at Atlanta Stadium, Cincinnati 2, Atlanta 0. Four innings total show the Reds with 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors. The Braves, no runs, 2 hits, and 2 errors. It'll be Joe Morgan to lead it off in the 5th inning, and back for the action, Marty Benjamin.
Thank you, Joe. Morgan 1 for 2. He had an infield hit off Royster's glove in the 1st inning and then popped out to Montañez in the 3rd. Reds have had hits in every single inning against the young left-hander Mailer, and unearned runs in the 2nd and the 4th for the 2-0 lead. Here's a pitch to Joe, and he takes it down and outside, ball 1. Morgan swings, pops it up back of the plate, but that ball's going to carry out of here. No play for Murphy. Game's underway in the National League tonight at the end of 3. Philadelphia 2, Montreal 0. Christensen versus Rogers. The Cardinals with a 2-0 lead over the Mets after an inning and a half. Bob Forsch against Jackson. L.A. at Houston, as we mentioned. San Francisco at San Diego later on. In the American League, the Yankees lead the Toronto Blue Jays 3-1, with Toronto batting in the bottom of the 5th. Gullett against Jefferson. Cleveland 2-0 over Baltimore after 4.5. Rick Waits against Rudy May. The 1-1 to Joe. 2 balls and 1 strike. The fastball is low. Boston with a 2-0 lead over Detroit. Bill Lee against Bob Sykes. Yet to start Chicago, Seattle, Texas, Oakland, and Kansas City at California. Well, what about Bert Blyleven last night? Big no-hitter over the California Angels.
1 base runner.
Yes, sir. Walked a batter, and one man reached on an error, and he was wiped out on a double play. Breaking ball misses. 3 balls and 1 strike. Morgan trying to get on, leading off the 5th inning. With George Foster coming up next, Mailer needs a strike and could not get it as he took something off the fastball, but the pitch stayed up. So Mickey Mailer has just surrendered his 3rd base on balls and now faces Foster, who the first time around struck out, but in the 3rd inning lined a single through the left side of the infield. Morgan gets a good lead again as Mailer looks that way and now sends a pitch. Morgan goes, pitch is taken, a strike, throw down to second base, not in time, as Jerry Royster had to take Dale Murphy's throw on a bounce, and that for Joe Morgan is his 49th steal of the year. 49 steals, has only been caught 9 times. That's the 2nd stolen base for the Reds tonight. Concepcion had one back in the 2nd. The Reds have now swiped 167 bases and have been caught 57 times. Well, Foster with a chance to pick up run batted in number 143. Still looking for that 50th home run. And with the way he's hit this Atlanta pitching, you got to like his chances of getting it sometime this weekend. Now the Atlanta battery getting together. Murphy out to the mound to talk with Mailer. And quite a lengthy meeting it is, as Jerry Crawford starts out to the mound to break it up. Looked like they were going to cease their conversation, and now they do. Left-hander Preston Hanna throwing down in the Atlanta bullpen, and it was either he or Mailer who would start this game tonight. Mailer got the call. Foster with a fly ball down the right field line. That'll fall out of play. And a count of no balls and 2 strikes. Morgan a walk to begin the inning. Stoll second. We're in the top of the 5th and lead the Atlanta Braves 2-0. Here's a pause of the belt and the pitch. Taken down and outside as Foster looks it all the way to the catcher's mitt. Man has been batting .393 over the last 16 games. He's hit safely in 14 of those 16. Now 15 out of 17 counting tonight. He chases a pitch away and fouls it off to the right. Now Foster needing only 11 hits for 200. He just simply came out of nowhere and enhanced his chances with that 4-for-4 day against San Diego pitching yesterday afternoon. The left-hander looks back at second where Morgan leads. Delivers. Foster takes a fastball outside. 2-2. 29 of George's 49 home runs have come on the road. Two-two pitch. That gets away from Murphy. He can't find it. Morgan chucks on to third base. It's going to be a wild pitch charged against Mickey Mailer. So that wild pitch now just simply enhances Foster's chances of making it a 3-0 game. See how the Atlanta infield will play it as Mailer gets the ball back on the mound. Foster with a perpetually untied right shoelace is going to work on it. Now steps back into the batter's box. 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Morgan at third. The infield comes in. The outfield plays him deep and straight away, and Foster with the payoff pitch swings and hammers one to right center field. That's going to be off the wall. Here comes Morgan trotting in. Foster to second, turning it on, coming to third, and will be in easily with a stand-up triple. He hit a screamer off the wall in deep right center. The ball hit that low chain link fence, bounced back toward left field, momentarily eluding Roland Office, and that's all that Foster needed to get the extra base. His second triple of the year, his 143rd run batted in. The Reds now lead at 3-0, and the Atlanta Braves are going to change pitchers right now. Right-hander Preston Hanna, himself a rookie, will be called on to take over for the left-hander Mickey Mailer. So we've got a break in the action here in the 5th inning, with the Reds leading the Atlanta Braves 3-0. We'll be back with more from Atlanta Stadium in just a moment. Well, an Atlanta pitching change and a change in the way they throw. Right-hander Hanna takes over for left-hander Mailer. Preston Hanna, as we mentioned, it was either he or Mailer who would get the start in this game tonight. Dave Bristol settled on Mickey Mailer, so Hanna gets in after all, and it's going to be his 14th appearance and his 7th in relief. With a 2-win, 5-loss record and a .529 earned run average, he saved a game so far since his call up from Richmond. In 51 innings, Hanna has given up 63 base hits, has struck out 30 while walking 28. He'll be facing Johnny Bench with a run in, Foster at third, nobody out. After Morgan walked to begin this 5th and stole second base, moved to third on a wild pitch and rides home on Foster's triple to deep right center field. Johnny Bench tonight has fly to center. He's popped out to the first baseman Montañez. So a 3-0 Reds lead and a chance to add to it right here. Hanna just turned 23 years old 13 days ago on the 10th of September. He hails from Pensacola, Florida. First round 1972 draft choice by the Braves in that year's free agent draft. He's been up and down with his club, up with them in 75. No record that year and 4 appearances. Up with them last season, and 5 appearances had no record. But 2 wins and 5 losses this season. The infield again will be playing in with Foster at third. Bench takes a high fastball from Hanna. That's Hanna, Preston Hanna. Pitch. Blowing outside as Murphy picks it up on the short hop. Ball 2. 2-0. John waiting on the pitch. Swings and fouls it back. 2 balls and 1 strike. Tomorrow night, 7:05, the air time, Cincinnati time, with Reds Radio, as Tommy Hume goes to the mound against Dick Ruthven. Sunday afternoon, we'll wrap it up. Big duel between Phil Niekro and Tom Seaver. Low again with a pitch to Bench. 3-1. Dave Concepcion is in the on-deck circle. Here's a 3-1, and Johnny Bench gets a walk. So Hanna issues a base on balls to the first man he faces. That puts runners on the corners, and with still nobody out, Dave Concepcion will try to extend a perfect night. He singled and scored in the second, and singled and scored again in the fourth. Infield now will drop back at double play depth. Ball 1, and Hanna called on to throw strikes in relief of Mickey Mailer. Cannot do it. At least up to this point he can't. Reds hoping to play for a big 5th inning after already getting 1 run across. Way outside, ball 2, 2-0. Time called, and we'll pause for station identification on the Cincinnati Reds Baseball Network. Dale Murphy, let's see how he fares now as he comes with a 2-0, and Davey rips one to second baseman Royster. A line out. No play at third or first as Foster and Bench retreat quickly, so Davey retired on a line drive to second, 1 away, and here's Danny Dreesen. Danny has walked. He's had a sacrifice fly, so still no time at bat. Got a couple of pitchers now beginning to throw for the Braves. One a left-hander and one a right-hander. Dreesen, ball 1. The right left-hander is Dwayne Thies, and the right-hander is Thies, and the left-hander is Mike Davey. That's low. 2 balls, no strikes. Now a couple of kids throwing now in the Atlanta bullpen the Reds haven't seen. Thies a right-hander, Davey a left-hander. Foster third, Bench first, 1 out. Hanna kicks and fires. Danny swings and lines it foul off the left field line. Well, I tell you, we have been simply blessed with beautiful weather on this road trip. Weather, as usual, was outstanding in San Diego, and we come east to Atlanta to find pretty much the same type of weather conditions. Low 80s today. There's ball 3. And the forecast for the remainder of the weekend is for much of the same, we're happy to say. 3 balls, 1 strike. Hanna goes to the rosin bag. Now he's got to come to Dreesen or else load the bases for Donnie Werner. Checking in with Murphy. And the 3-1 pitch, and that's ball 4, and the bases are loaded. So to 3 batters, Hanna has walked Bench, lined Concepcion to second, and walked Dreesen. Don Werner 1 for 1 with a sacrifice fly. Picked up an RBI as third in the second after Concepcion had singled, stolen second, and moved to third on Murphy's throwing error. Donnie Werner, who's had a good road trip, he has hammered a couple of home runs, one of them in San Francisco, and hammered one out of San Diego Stadium 3 nights ago. Nowhere to put him. Hanna needs to throw strikes now with Foster third, Bench second, Dreesen first. Werner takes a strike. Got a situation right here, pitcher against batter, and these two guys were teammates for a good part of last year when Don Werner was farmed out of the Reds farm system to the Richmond Farm Club. Ground balls hit to third base. Bunnell goes to Royster. Royster bobbles the ball. Can't find it. A run scores. Johnny Bench starts down the line and holds at third. The force play will stand at second of Dreesen, but as Royster tried to pick it out of his glove and get the throw on to Montañez in hopes of getting a double play, he dropped the ball, and Foster comes in to make it a 4-0 ball game. So credit Donnie Werner with a run batted in, a fielder's choice, no error. Here's Paul Mosco. Paul takes it outside. Swung on and foul off and out of play to the right. Strike 2. You can close the book now on Mailer. He goes 4 innings, allows 7 hits, 4 runs. 2 of them earned with a strikeout, 3 walks, and served up a wild pitch. Swing and a foul into the mid of Murphy. That's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, Mosco, the 7th man to hit in the inning. The Reds have scored 2 times and have scored the 2 runs on only 1 base hit. Curveball is down and away, 2-2. Werner going. Mosco taking. Murphy's throw down to second. He's out. Pat Rocket. From Dale Murphy to tag the sliding Donnie Werner, and the inning is over. But the Reds get 2 runs on 1 base hit. No Atlanta errors, and 1 man left on. We're halfway through this Friday night series opener against the Braves. The Reds 4 and Atlanta nothing. Now the lead is ballooned to 4. 4-0. Reds over the Braves as Paul Mosco gets set to work in the 5th inning. Gary Matthews, who bounced to Concepcion, leading it off, and the pitch just misses the outside edge for a ball. Paul has pitched 4 strong innings, giving him 2 base hits, a single of the infield variety to Royster in the 1st. There's ball 2, and a single to right by Bunnell in the 3rd. Bunnell will be the 3rd man up with Murphy the middleman. 3 balls and no strikes. Matthews looking down to third base coach Vern Benson. He takes a strike, 3-1. Swing and a foul down the right field line. It'll be well back into the lower blue seat area. All quiet now in the Atlanta bullpen. You bet if the Braves get anything at all going in the way of a threat here in the 5th, though, they'll get up and start throwing again. This is grounded into the hole. Concepcion backhands. Now the throw, and safe at first base. Photo finish. Verdict was out all the way about whether the throw would get there before Matthews did, and Gary beat it out for an infield single.
Marty David slipped just as he started to release the ball, and I think had he not slipped, he would have gotten Matthews. Have been very close, but I think just that little split second cost him another great play.
It has been a season of great plays for that guy at shortstop. He has played like, I don't guess anybody around the National League has for many, many years. Turned in a dandy in the 3rd inning on a smash off the bat of Royster. High and inside, ball 1 to Murphy, who was a strikeout victim in the 2nd, the only strikeout that Paul has had tonight. Reds 4, Braves nothing. They get their lead man on Matthews with the infield hit, and now a pop-up outside of first. Racing over Werner and Dreesen. Does Danny have a play? No. Drops back in behind the Braves dugout. Butch Hobson is homered for the 29th time in the third inning at Detroit tonight with 2 men on base to up the Boston lead over the Tigers to 5-0, while Cleveland getting some outstanding pitching from Rick Waite. Now in the bottom of the 7th, it remains Indians 2, Baltimore nothing. Every single game a big one now for that trio of Eastern Division ball clubs, New York, Baltimore, and Boston. 1-0, a throw to first, and almost picked Matthews off. Just outside, 2 balls and a strike to count on Murphy. As infield turned 1 double play tonight. They're hoping to do it again, but this one is hit into right center. Griffey moves to his right, and he puts it away. 1 out. This reminder, the Reds downtown ticket offices at 580 Walnut and the stadium will be open from 9 until 5:30 tomorrow, and the stadium ticket office will be open all day Sunday. If you're going to be in the area, stop by and pick up seats for the upcoming homestand. Tuesday night, we'll be back against the San Diego Padres. Joe Morgan now running in toward the Cincinnati dugout, apparently has a problem with his glove. As Morgan goes to the dugout, Mosco, Concepcion, and Rose meet in back of the mound. Barry Bonnell will be up there when play is resumed. He had a single along the right field line leading off the third inning. Morgan now waiting in front of the dugout, either for another glove. Maybe somebody had to go to the clubhouse and get one. Well, we've got a brief hold-up in the play here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Now that glove has been retrieved. Morgan has it, and he goes on back to his second base position. Barry Bonnell. Fine year for this young man from Milford, Ohio. He extended his hitting streak to 13 straight games with that third inning single to right field. And now the pitch from Mosco is foul of the screen. He's gone 18 for 53, 7 RBIs, 3 stolen bases in the 12-plus games. Batting .297 with a homer and 41 RBIs. Mosco leisurely throws on to Dreesen to let Matthews know that he knows he's over there. Swinging another foul. Out of play, strike 2 and holding. On deck is Pat Rocket, the shortstop. Here's a line drive into center field. Foster will have to play it on the bounce. Matthews puts on the brakes. Foster was all set to gun to third as Matthews took the wide turn. George charging that ball well and coming up with it on the bounce. And that single now will once again get the Atlanta bullpen busy because the Braves have him at first and second with only 1 down. And their number 8 batter, Pat Rocket, steps in. Rocket in the third, bounced out to Dreesen. Pitch, 4-1. This one lined over third, base hit. Johnny Bench charges. Matthews gets away to the plate. Here comes the throw. They cut it off. Throw back to third. He's safe. Well, Vern Benson was waving him home, but Gary Matthews had a better idea. He started down that line as Bench fired to the plate. Rose cut the throw off about 10 feet down the line from the bag and threw to Concepcion at third. Matthews just able to get back in time. So the Atlanta Braves on 3 fifth-inning hits have loaded them up. And Preston Hanna will not bat. Instead, it's going to be Darrell Cheney who's going to be sent up to pinch hit. Larry Shepard goes to the mound to talk with his pitcher. So Paul Moscow faced with adversity for the first time tonight. Bases loaded, one down. And the former Red, Darrell Cheney, will be the pinch hitter for Preston Hanna after this meeting breaks up out on the hill.
Well, Marty, I think Shep has gone to the mound just to settle Paul down a little bit now. 3 straight hits, or 3 hits in the inning to load the bases, and give him a little breather here to face Darrell Cheney, and hopefully we can come up with that inning-ending double play that we'd certainly love to see.
Well, we'll see how things turn out here. Cheney batting only .198 with 2 homers and 14 RBIs. Darrell has been plagued this season by a bone spur on his heel or in the bottom of his foot that kept him out of action for quite a while. In fact, he was on the disabled list when the season opened. And with a fine play of Royster at second, Rocket at short, and Bunnell and Junior Moore at third, Darrell has been relegated to an extra infielder on this club of late. Okay, Moscow from the wind-up serves a pitch up to Cheney, and he takes it outside, ball 1. Dale Murray getting ready in the Cincinnati bullpen. First time our pen has been active. Low and inside, 2 balls and no strikes. And Paul pitching brilliantly for 4 innings. Gave up a leadoff infield single to Matthews, got Murphy on a flyout, but Bunnell is single to center and Rocket to left. Here's a chopper foul off the first base line. It's 2-1 on Cheney.
The line on Hanna, 1 inning, 2 walks.
Right-hander Buzz Capra now begins to loosen up in the Atlanta bullpen. Cheney takes it high and away, ball 3. Mike Davey, a left-hander, and Buzz Capra, the right-hander. And out on the mound right now, Paul Moscow has no more balls in which to throw out of the strike zone to Cheney. With the bases loaded, here comes the 3-1, and Cheney fouls it back. The Reds with a 4-0 lead. Getting a run in the second, 1 in the fourth, and 2 in the fifth. Driving starter Mailer off the mound. The Braves now threatening a major threat in the bottom of the 5th inning in the 3-2 pitch to the plate. Struck him out swinging. Throw to third, not in time. Cheney went after a pitch up, ticked it foul. Werner hung on and tried to pick off Matthews at third. So there's a big second out, and here comes Jerry Royster to the plate. Paul makes his second strikeout, a big one. Royster an infield hit to short in the first inning, and boy, he was flat out robbed by Concepcion in the third. A wicked line drive that Davey short hopped and threw him out. He swings and hits one into right center field. Griffey, Foster racing back. Who's going to play it? Foster makes the running catch, and that's the inning. The Braves threaten, but they cannot score. No runs, 3 hits. They leave them loaded. At the end of 5, the Reds 4 and the Braves nothing. Okay, we move on to the 6th inning with the 4-0 lead remaining intact. And, boy, you can't fault Dave Bristol for not getting an idea of what these youngsters can do. Now, as his third pitcher out there, left-hander Mike Davey, and the third rookie. Davey has appeared in 12 games, used totally in relief, with no record, no wins or losses, and a .450 earned run average. He follows Preston Hanna to the mound. Hanna went 1 inning, walked 2 batters. While Mailer started, he's a pitcher of record. All 4 runs scored against him on 7 hits, 2 of the 4 runs earned, 3 walks, a strikeout, a wild pitch in 4 innings. It's going to be Pete Rose to lead things off for Cincinnati, or make it Paul Moscow, who was at the plate when Donnie Werner was thrown out stealing in the 5th inning. Atlanta posing a 5th inning threat, but Moscow struck out pinch hitter Cheney. And then Foster caught Royster's fly ball in right center field to send the Reds to the dugout. Ball around the Atlanta infield, and Moscow mopping his brow. Heads on toward the plate to lead off the 6th. Davey, 6'2", 190-pounder. He hails from Spokane, Washington. 25 years old. Well, it's been a left-hander, a right-hander, and another left-hander out there for the Braves. Moscow fouls it out of play. Paul Twice is hit into fourth place. His ground ball to Royster in the second, forced Dreesen. And then grounded to third in the fourth inning, forcing Werner at second. 1 ball and 1 strike. There's a high fastball, 2-1. Talked to Dave Bristol and his number 1 aide, Vern Benson, and they're very enthusiastic about the performances of some of the young rookies on this team. Here's a swing and a miss, and Paul was going for a home run on that cut. 2-2. Play of Rocket, who's really come around lately at the plate. He got off to a rough start, was injured early in the year, missed a lot of ball games, but has come back strong. Strike 3 swinging. Moscow out on strikes. Here's Pete Rose. 0-1 pitch. Pete swings, shoots it to right field, hit the ball well. Burrows back on the warning track, makes the leaping catch. Well, Jeff Burrows robbing Pete Rose. As Burrows went toward the corner on the warning track and right in front of the 3:30 marker, leaped up and picked it off.
Artie, I say, Pete, I don't say really anyone that robs so many times in a year. I believe, I don't know how many times Pete has been robbed. The ball was Henry caught the other day in San Diego, and this one can't hit the ball much better than Pete's been hitting.
No, you have to go back to the dugout shaking your head, which is exactly what Pete did. He has really been making outstanding contact. Griffey fouls it away. Kenny is without a hit. You talk about a guy hitting a ball hard. He's done it 3 straight times tonight and has nothing to show for it. Line drive to first, a shot that they turned into a forced out at second on Rose in the third, and a line drive to left in the fourth. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Left-hander Mike Davey has set down the first 2 Reds hitters. Moscow on a strikeout, Rose on a line out, and with this foul back, the count holding on Griffey at 2 strikes. Fastball is up, 1-2. That backs him off the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Griffith. Davey toes the pitching rubber. Has a sign. Here's his break-even pitch, and Griffey swings, shoots it to deep left center field. He hit that ball well. Matthews back to the warning track and makes the catch. A little bit more would have been out of here. As it is, a long drive to left center, flag down by Matthews. The Reds are out in order for the first time in the game, and after 5.5, Cincinnati 4, Atlanta nothing. Here in the bottom of the 6th inning, it's going to be Roland Office to lead it off for the Atlanta Braves. Paul Moscow overcoming adversity in the 5th inning, getting out of a bases-loaded jam, and now misses inside with his first 6th inning pitch to Office. Roland is hit into a double play. And then robbed in the 4th inning, Morgan to Moscow. 2 balls and no strikes. Moscow has been a rapid worker from the beginning of this ball game and not changing his pace of work at all. Here's call strike 1. Talking about the year Office had last season, batted .281. In 99 games, hit .290 in 1975. Swings and bounces it foul, and then out toward the mound where it's picked up by the pitcher. And that one paining Office considerably as he drops the bat, walks back toward the Atlanta dugout, and hardly can put any weight at all on it. Now kneeling and finally going down on His left knee apparently bounced that ball off of his ankle or his right shin. And now being worked over by the Atlanta trainer just off to the left of the dugout. Take this opportunity to pause once again for station identification on the Cincinnati Reds Baseball Network.
This is your Reds baseball station, WGTC, Bloomington, Indiana. At 8:30, 73 degrees.
Rolonoff is walking off the pane, and a self-determination about whether or not he'll be able to remain in the game. Apparently he will. Walking back toward the plate, and we'll be waiting on a 1-2 pitch from Moscow. Barry Crawford, hands in air, showing the sign to the players on the field. Paul sends in the pitch, and that's a check swing foul ball. Holding at 1-2. Jeff Burrows is on deck. He'll be followed by Willie Montañez. Reds have out hit him 7-5. Atlanta has out erred us 2-0, and in that all-important category, runs, the Reds lead 4-0. Foul again out of here. Office off the plate. And the pitch again. That's fouled away. Well, the Sacramento, California native, Roland Office, fouling off the strike pitches thrown by Paul Moscow. Outfield playing him straight away. Curveball hangs outside and high, 2-2. Seems like more and more you see around the National League parks, mascots are individuals dressed up in certain type of costume that will be continuous from game to game. Here's a high pop-up on the infield, and it's going to go Joe Morgan's way. He calls for it on the skin portion and makes the catch. That'll bring Burrows up. He's 0 for 2 with a ground out to the mound and a fly ball to center. Of course, in San Diego, they've got the KGB chicken, which is one of the all-timers in terms of laughs. We certainly talked about him enough this season. In Cincinnati, we have Mr. Red. Here in Atlanta, they've got what they refer to as the bleacher creature. Burrows fouls the pitch away. Parades around in a weird green costume before the game. And something to look for in Major League parks, especially in the National League. We don't know how they do it over in the other league. Here's a ground ball by the diving Pete Rose in the left field. There's a single to left. Hit number 6 for the men of Dave Bristol. So it'll be Willie Montañez up at the plate with 1 out and Burrows at first. Montañez, 0 for 2 night. He's popped up foul to Rose. He's popped up to Concepcion. Well, they call that mascot down in Houston Chester Charge. So Montañez with Burrows leading at first. Reeson playing behind a runner, and the pitch is low. Infield looks for the ground ball. Strike is called to the left-handed batter. 1-1. Reds are looking to win their 7th in 9 games on this road trip. 2 balls and a strike. Beat the Dodgers twice. Took 2 out of 3 from San Francisco and 2 out of 3 from San Diego. Played well on this road trip. Now the 2-1 pitch. That's ball 3. Moscow, who has not walked a batter in the game while striking out 2. Behind now to Montañez at 3-1, and on deck is Gary Matthews. Stretching the pitch. Lined into right center field. That's a base hit. Griffey tries to cut it off. He does, but he won't keep Burroughs from going to third, and Montañez will hold with a long single. Runners on the corners with one away for Gary Matthews. Pointed out, Montañez has been swinging a hot bat for the Braves. He's now hit in 7 out of 8 games, going 15 for 32. 7 runs knocked in. Larry Shepard, for the second time in as many innings, will come to the mound. And for the second time in as many innings, activity underway in the Reds bullpen with Dale Murray. After office popped up to Morgan, Burroughs laced one by Rose, and Montañez hangs out a frozen rope to right center. Now the Braves even with the Reds in that hit total, 7, but they have still been shut out. Paul appears to be weakening a bit. He's given up 5 hits in the last inning in the third after limiting the Braves to 2 in the first 4 fulls. Shepard back to the dugout. Here comes Matthews in. 1 for 2, an infield hit to short leading off the last inning. Purchase Reds tickets in Dayton at Reich's downtown, in Columbus at all Central Ticket Office locations, including area Sears stores, and in Louisville at all Allied Sporting Goods stores. The shutout in jeopardy with 1 away. Moscow stretches and pitches, and Matthews swings, and he misses, and threw that fastball by him. Strike 2 is called. And the 0-2 pitch. Outside and high. Ball 1-2. 1-2. Burroughs third. Montañez first. Base hits got him there. Matthews fouls it away. Now the former San Francisco Giant, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Braves brought in a lot of new faces in 1977 as they did last year. Matthews new. Jeff Burroughs, of course, a newcomer. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Warner hangs aside, and the break-even pitch. That is shot into right center. That's going to fall. In to score comes Jeff Burroughs, and the Braves are on the board. It's a 4-1 game. Matthews just going with a pitch to pick up his 59th run batted in. Montañez advances to second base, and now 3 consecutive singles. Produce an Atlanta run, and the batter will be the catcher, Dale Murphy. Murphy is struck out into the fly ball to Griffey. Sparky Anderson out of the Reds dugout. That's going to be it for Paul Moscow. Paul able to go but 5 1/3 after it appeared that he would have some kind of night working for him in the first 4 innings. But the Braves with now 6 hits in the last 2 frames, and this inning not over yet. So it'll be Paul Moscow turning the baseball over to Dale Murray. Dale, of course, coming off of a fine effort a couple of days ago in San Diego to pick up a victory. Record on the year now, 7 wins and 2 losses with a .477 earned run average. It'll be his 60th appearance of the year. He takes the baseball from manager Sparky Anderson, and he'll be facing Murphy with Montañez at second, Matthews at first, and a run home for the Braves. Well, it'll be Murray against Murphy. As once again, Buzz Capper starts up throwing in the Atlanta bullpen. Braves spotting has 4 runs. Cincinnati getting their first and the second when Concepcion single with 1 down stole second, moved to third on the catcher's throwing error, and scored on a sacrifice fly by Don Werner in the 4th inning. Again, it was Concepcion with a run. With a single, he went to third on a 2-base throwing error on a pickoff attempt by Mailer and came in on a Dreesen fly ball. In the 5th inning, the Reds scored twice, a walk to Morgan, a stolen base, a wild pitch, a triple by Foster. And after a walk to Johnny Bench and a Concepcion lineout, Dreesen walked to load him up. Werner then grounded to third. They got the force out on Dreesen at second, but Royster dropped the baseball when he picked it out of his glove to try to get the double play at first. And Foster came in to make it 4-0. Now, after Moscow worked himself out of a bases-loaded 1-out 5th inning jam, the Braves have strung together hits by Burrows, Montañez, and Matthews in the 6th inning to score 1 and bring on Dale Murray. Right-handed batting rookie catcher Dale Murphy at the plate. The pitch to him is cut on and bounced to short. Concepcion, Morgan, Dreesen. Good job by Murray on a double play. In the inning, 1 run, 3 hits, a man left on. Murray does the job in throwing 1 pitch. And as we go to the final 3 innings of play, the Reds 4 and the Braves 1.
Joe is 1 for 2 tonight, has scored a run. He singled in the 1st inning, popped to Montañez at 1st and the 3rd, walked in the 5th, stole 2nd, moved to 3rd on a wild pitch, and scored on George Foster's triple to right center field. The Reds leading at 4-1. Mike Davey, the 3rd pitcher used by the Braves, on the mound. Mickey Mailer started, worked 4 innings. Preston Hanna 1 inning, and Davey in his 2nd inning of work. Morgan, Foster, and Bench will come to the plate here in the 7th inning. Waiting on Morgan to settle into the batter's box. He's there, and Davey checks in with Murphy as catcher, and the first pitch. That's the fastball, a called strike. Davey into the line, delivers. Morgan looks at it low and inside. 1-1. Now Toronto and New York now tied 3-3 at Toronto in the 8th inning. And Baltimore losing to Cleveland 2-0, 7th. Boston winning 5-0, 5th inning at Detroit. Morgan swings and fouls a high fastball. Out of ball, 2 strikes. Here's the 1-2. Joe takes low and outside, and that evens the count 2-2. Reds leading at 4-1. We've had 7 hits. The Braves without hitters. 8-7. A line to pitch. Morgan swings and pulls it down the right field line. Jeff Burrows moving toward the line a couple of steps. He has it 1 away. On out, and George Foster the batter. George, after striking out in the 1st inning, singled to left in the 3rd and tripled to right center field in the 5th. Drive in a run, his 143rd of the year. Second total bases, and George now has a total of 371 for the year. The club record is held by Frank Robinson at 380. Takes a strike from Davey. Mike Davey on the mound, 3rd pitcher used by Atlanta. And the 0-1. Foster takes inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. One to 1 to count. Foster away from the plate. The attendance tonight, 9,471 here at Atlanta Stadium. 1 ball, 1 strike. George back in. Davey winds in his pitch. High and outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. The National League, Philadelphia leading Montreal 3-1 6th inning. St. Louis over New York 3-2 4th inning. Dodgers and Houston tied 1-1 after 2. Swing and a looper into right field. That'll be a base hit. The third for George and the 7th in 2 days. First hit off Mike Davey, the 8th in the game for the Reds, and that'll bring Johnny Bench to the plate. Bench 0 for 2 and a walk. Down a fly ball to right center in the 2nd inning. Popped out to Martinez at first in the 3rd inning, and then walked in the 5th. Davey sets, delivers, Bench swings, and pops it foul off of the Masters Murphy, and Martinez coming over, and that one, did he catch it? He did not, and Ted Turner holds the ball up for Willie, said, here it is. Martinez apparently had the ball in the glove, and the momentum of the ball taking his glove down over the railing, and it kicked out and right at Ted Turner's feet. Oh, Ted stands up and acknowledges the fan. Says, I've got a souvenir from my own ball club. Down 0-1 to Johnny Bench. The pitch. Swung on and missed, 0-2. Outfield straight away for Bench. John with 29 home runs, 102 RBIs. Here's the 0-2. He swings and bounces at the Royster. Steps on the bag. Throw to Martinez. Double play. Well, the inning over. The Reds in the inning. No runs, a hit, no errors. No one left on base. And at the middle of the 7th, Cincinnati 4, Atlanta 1. For the Braves in the 7th inning, it'll be Barry Bonnell, Pat Rocket, and the pitcher, Mike Davey. But we'll see a pinch hitter for Davey, that's for sure. Dale Murray came on in the 6th inning with runners at first and third and 1 out through 1 pitch to Dale Murphy, and he bounced into an inning-ending double play. Well, Bonnell 2 for 2. He has single to right, single to center in his 2 times to the plate. .295 batting average for Barry and a home run and 41 RBI. Murray ready to work the Bonnell. His first pitch on the way, and a check swing on a fastball is high. Buzz Capra throwing in the Atlanta bullpen. Pitch on the outside corner to knees, a call strike, and it's 1-1. Murray back to the plate. Bonnell swings and chops one to Concepcion. Short up, got it through, got him. Good play. David is just a magician with that glove. I'm telling you, that a tough play, charging it a high bounder and short hopping on the run and throwing on the run to retire Bonnell. A 1 out, and it'll be Pat Rocket, the shortstop, to the plate. Pat 1 for 2, singled his last time up in the 5th inning. Rocket, a .268 batting average. Pitch to him. He takes high a ball. Murray to the plate. Low and outside. 2-0 the count. The 2-0. Low and outside. 3 balls, no strikes to Pat Rocket. On deck, Tom Pashoric. He will hit for Davey. Murray the pitch in for a called strike, 3-1. Cesar Geronimo loosening up down in the Reds bullpen. All right, the 3-1 to Rocket. He takes it inside, ball 4. And that's the first walk of the game by Cincinnati pitching. Rocket moves on to first base, and Tom Pashoric will be the batter. Pashoric hitting .236 with 3 home runs and 15 RBIs. Pinch hitting this year. Pashoric 5 for 30. A couple of RBIs. Murray throws over to first, and Rocket steps back. Stretch in the pitch, down low, ball one. One out with Rocket at first. The Reds with a 4-1 lead here in the 7th inning. Each team with 8 hits. Murray sets and delivers. Pashorik swings and fouls. Now 1-1. Hope you never have to stand up on a bus again. Yeah, you. Not a very good co-pilot. All right, the 1-1 to Tom Pashorik. He swings and misses a low fastball, and it's 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes to the pinch hitter, Tom Pashorik. The stretch, the pitch. Swung on, that's line to right field. That'll drop to a base hit. Griffey plays it on the bounce, and Braves with 2 on and 1 out here in the 7th inning, and the batter will be Jerry Royster. Hit number 9 for Atlanta. Rocket now at second base. Pashorik at first, and Royster the batter. Jerry 1 for 3. And moving on deck is Brian Asselstein. He's apparently going to hit for, well, who? Roland Office, or is he going to the plate for Brian Asselstein on deck? He will, in all probability, hit for Roland Office. 1 out. Braves with runners at first and second. Reds infield double play depth. Reds have turned in 2 double plays this evening. Murray delivers, and it's just low ball. Warner hangs the sign. The stretch and the pitch. That's a strike. It's the outside corner, belt high. 1-1. Dale has won 7 and lost 2, and he has 4 saves to his credit. Here's his 1-1 to Royster. That's swung on and popped foul off to the right. Chasing it, Dan Dreesen might have a play. Danny's there, makes the play. A good play by Dan Dreesen going near the fence in the tarpaulin off to the right side in foul territory, and catches the ball over his shoulder, 2 away, and it'll be Brian Asselstein. Asselstein hitting .217 with 3 home runs and 13 RBIs. Had a pretty good night last night down in the Astrodome. Left-handed batter, Asselstein. 2 out and runners at first and second. Angel Torres and Manny Sarmiento throwing in the Cincinnati bullpen. Now today, Brian Asselstein's 24th birthday. Ed Murray waiting on the sign from Werner. He has it, the stretch. Delivers, and Asselstein takes the strike. Reds leading 4-1. Murray to the belt. He delivers high and outside. On evens 1-1 to Asselstein. A ball, a strike. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Good fastball away from him, and it's a ball, 2 strikes now. Asselstein away from the plate. Murray takes a little tour around the pitching mound, and now he's back up. Steps onto the pitching rubber, has the sign, and the 1-2. Swung on and fouled. Straight back and out of play. Pat Rocket at second base and Tom Pashoik at first base with 2 outs. The on-deck batter, Jeff Burrows. Murray sets, delivers high, and evens 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, the count to Brian Asselstein. Murray to the plate, swung on and fouled, and Asselstein a good cut at that one. Out holding 2-2. Okay, a stretch in the pitch. Swung on and bounced off to the right of the mound. Gleason with it, throws back, can't throw back, and the bases are loaded. But then he couldn't get rid of the baseball. Been a tough play anyway. So Brian Asselstein, an infield single, that loads the bases for Jeff Burrows. Hit number 10 for Atlanta, the second off Dale Murray. Well, we got 2 out and the bases loaded, and Jeff Burrows, the batter. Burrows, 1 for 3 tonight. He's hit 40 home runs this year and has driven in 113. The pitch to him, he looks at his strike. And Asselstein at first base, Pachorik at second, and Pat Rocket at third with 2 outs. 0-1 the count to Burrows. Murray winds and delivers. That swung on and hit the left field. Shallow coming hard as Bench. He's there and has it. Oh, a big inning over for the Braves, and the bases loaded and 2 outs. Second time in the ball game that they've left the bases loaded for Atlanta. No runs, 2 hits, no errors. 3 runners left on base. The end of 7. The Reds 4, the Braves 1. New pitcher on the mound for Atlanta, a right-hander. To tell you about him, here's Marty.
Okay, Joe, the new pitcher is right-hander Buzz Capra. He's 5-11 in so far as decisions with a 5.44 earned run average. His 44th appearance of the year and his 28th in relief. He started 16 games and has not gone the distance in any of them. New center fielder Brian Asselstein. He pinch hit for Roland Office and remains to play in center. It's going to be Dave Concepcion, Danny Dreesen, and Donnie Warner here in the 8th for the Reds. Cincinnati, after scoring early, 1 in the first and the 4th, 2 in the 5th, and they've been pretty much held at bay over the last 3 innings by Atlanta relief pitching. Preston Hanna and Mike Davey. Davey goes 2 innings, gives up a hit, strikes out a batter. And now Dave Bristol hopes that Capra can hold the Reds and his club can put some markers on the board. They've had some chances in this game, twice leaving the bases loaded. Atlanta has in the 5th inning and also in the 7th. Davies 2 for 3, has scored 2 runs, has stolen a base. He shortens up on the bat, bringing Bunnell in, but takes a strike. Inside with a curve, 1-1. Greg Nettles has hit his 36th homer of the year in the 9th with 1 aboard to give the Yankees a 5-3 lead over the Toronto Blue Jays. Toronto had tied it up with single runs in the 7th and 8th, but number 36 for the Yank third baseman has sent New York out in front by a pair. Capra with Concepcion, a ball and a strike. Pitch. 2 balls and a strike inside. In the 4th in Houston, Dodgers won on a Lacy home run. Houston won. Strike 2 is called. Pedro Bourbon continues to throw in the Reds bullpen. Capra dealing. Concepcion swings and fouls this one back. And a holding count of 2 balls and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Capra struck him out on a pitch down and away. That is only the 3rd Atlanta strikeout all night long. Naylor had 1, Davey had 1, and now Capra fans Concepcion, the first man he faces. Danny Dreesen is 0 for 0 in the game. 2 walks. He's had a sacrifice fly. That came back in the 4th inning when he picked up his 84th run batted in. Danny always playing before family and friends here in Atlanta, hailing from not too distant Hilton Head, South Carolina. Ball 1. High and outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Phillies are trying to reduce their magic number to 3. They lead Montreal 3-1 in the 6th inning. Curve for a strike, 2-1. Philadelphia game is now in the 8th, and it's 4-1. Phil's getting one at the top of the 7th. Here's a smash fielded on a hop by second baseman Jerry Royster, playing deep for Dreesen, and he throws him out. Here's Donnie Werner. There are more than 100 cities served by the Reds Radio Network, including WMJD in Grundy, Virginia, WSCH in Aurora, Indiana, and WBLG in Lexington, Kentucky. 2 out, Cincinnati 8th inning.
Number 20.
And Cesar Geronimo is going to be sent up to pinch hit for Don Werner. Now that will probably mean that Johnny Bench will come on to catch the final 2 innings, Geronimo to center and Foster to left. Here's Capra with a pitch to Geronimo, swing and a miss. Cesar batting .263. And in games he's gone to bat in, he's hit in 13 out of 16 with a .333 batting average, 19 hits and 57 trips. 1-1 to count. Capra sends it in. Geronimo fouls it off. Cesar, ball, 2 strikes. Murray on deck. Bourbon down in the Reds bullpen practicing his blooper pitch. Capra shaking off Dale Murphy. Kicks and he fires. Curve low, 2-2. 4 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Reds. A run, 10 hits, 2 errors for Atlanta. Here's a line drive into right field. Geronimo with a pinch hit single. Well, that base hit with 2 down means that Murray is going to be called back. And Mike Lum will be sent up to pinch hit.
Mike Lum batting for Murray.
Mike, who of course spent his entire Major League career with this ball club before coming on to Cincinnati. Now pinch hitting against the Braves. Batting .162 with 5 home runs and 16 RBIs. Had a big home run in that series last weekend in San Francisco to win the game in extra innings. So Lum with 2 down. Geronimo at first base. In the top of the 8th, the Reds 4, the Braves 1. Right-hander Capra comes set. Now a quick throw to first base, and Geronimo just as quickly gets back into the bag. Ball outside and low. Means that Bourbon will be the new Reds pitcher in the bottom of the inning. Ball 2 to Lum. 2 balls, no strikes. Mike, a second straight pinch hitter after Geronimo singles to right. Rose on deck. Capra in with a 2-0. Swing and a foul back. 2-1. Ball bouncing almost all the way back to the mound after it hit at the base of the screen. Jerry Crawford goes out to pick it up, inspects the baseball, and will allow Capra to continue using it. 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. So an even count on Mike Lum. 2 balls and 2 strikes. That's just outside on a full count. So Geronimo will be heading towards second base on the next pitch, a payoff pitch to Lum. Now Montañez backing up to play a deep first. Geronimo takes off, and Lum stays alive with a foul of the screen. Tomorrow night, Dick Ruffin against Tommy Hume. Sunday afternoon, the duel in the sun involving Phil Niekro and Tom Seaver. Now, Don Collins, a left-hander now beginning to throw in the Atlanta bullpen. Capper ready with a 3-2 pitch again. And Lum gets a walk as the pitch comes low. So the Reds, posing a 2-out threat, got a pinch single from Geronimo, a walk to pinch hitter Mike Lum, and here's Rose. Pete has bounced to third, single, walked and lined out to deep right field. Pete with 192 base hits. George Foster's had 3 tonight. He now has 191. After tonight, we'll have 7 games remaining, so there'll be an interesting 7 to see if these 2 guys can reach the 200 hit mark. Rose hits a very high fly ball into shallow left field. Going out is Rocket, coming in Matthews. Gary is under and makes the catch. In the 8th for the Reds, no runs, a hit. We strand a pair, and after 7.5, it's Cincinnati 4 and Atlanta 1. It's the bottom of the 8th. Joe Bourbon on now for Cincinnati, our third pitcher. And Cesar Geronimo remains to play in center with Foster to left and Johnny Bench moving in behind the plate. Bourbon 10-5, 3.27 ERA, his 71st appearance, all in relief. And he can pick up his 17th save if he can take care of the Braves in the final 2 innings. It's going to be Montañez, Matthews, and Murphy. And the Reds enjoy a 3-run lead at this point, 4-1. Atlanta got theirs in the 6th on singles by Burroughs, Montañez, and Matthews. Left him loaded in the 5th inning, left him loaded again in the 7th when Dale Murray came up with some pressure pitching against Jeff Burroughs, getting him on a fly ball to left field to leave the Sox jam. Montañez is 1 for 3, a line single to right center in the 6th. Takes a high fastball from Pete. Murray figures an inning and 2/3, 2 hits he allowed. He walked the batter. Strike, 1-1. The win would go to Moscow, his 5th of the year in 11 decisions. The loss would go to Mailer, his 1st decision. Bourbon 1-1. Swung on, drive, straightaway center. Geronimo backs up. He's got room. 1 out. Well, Willie Montañez having been disposed of, it's Gary Matthews in. 2 of the 10 base hits Matthews has, and his single to right center in the 6th got him run home. The Braves have used 4 pitchers, Mailer, Hanna, Davey, and Capra. The Reds have used Moscow, Murray, and now Bourbon. 4-1. Call strike. Matthews, in his first year here, has hit for the expected average, batting a good .284, but has not hit the home runs nor has driven in the runs that the Braves had hoped he would. He grounds 1 to shortstop. Concepcion to Dreesen. 2 men out. Oh, with 2 away and nothing going on, here's catcher Dale Murphy. He has struck out, flied out, and in the 6th inning, Murray came on to get him to hit into a 6-4-3 double play. Check swing, ball 1. In the 9th for the Reds, look for Griffey, Morgan, and Foster. Swung on, popped up, back of the plate. It'll be out of play. Well, we got our director of broadcasting down here, Jim Winters, and he's been trying for almost 8 innings now to pick us up on the radio here in Atlanta Stadium, and he's finally done it. Good work, big guy. 1 ball and a strike. Murphy goes back to the on-deck circle to...
He can't see the game. He's so close to the radio.
Well, listening is the important thing. Pedro with a 1-1 pitch. That's foul to the screen, and Murphy behind at 1-2. Barry Bonnell swinging a bat on deck. Bourbon to the plate. Swung on, popped up outside of first, and Dreesen watches it drift out of play. Atlanta with 10 hits in the game, and they've gotten them in clusters. 3 in the 5th when they got nothing in the way of run production. 3 in the 6th inning when they scored a run, and 2 in the 7th. 8 of their 10 hits in 3 innings. Swing and a miss. He swings the bat, and it lands in the box seat. And fortunately, in an empty seat, 3 rows back to the near end of the Cincinnati dugout, a young fan picked it up. One of the stadium attendants sitting down by the Reds dugout came to get it, but in true sportsmanlike fashion, Murphy and the Braves said, "You got it, go ahead and keep it." So Bourbon with a strikeout. The Braves are out 1. The Reds hope to expand this 3-run lead as we move to the 9th inning, and it'll be Ken Griffey, Joe Morgan, George Foster against Buzz Capra, who in the 8th ran into 2-out difficulty, giving up a base hit to Geronimo and a walk to Lund before getting Rose on a high fly ball to left. Ken Griffey has gone 0 for 4 tonight. Despite hitting the ball hard 3 times, 4 times, as a matter of fact, he is without a base hit in the 6th inning. He launched one to deep left center that Gary Matthews caught squarely in front of the 385 sign. Well, let's see what the Reds can do against Capra. Here in the top of the 9th, Braves have 10 hits. The Reds have had 9. We stand an inning away from winning our 7th game in 9 tries on this road trip. Capra waiting for Griffey to get in. And the first 9th inning pitch is taken up and away, a ball. Ball 2, 2-0. We've seen some outstanding defensive work in this game. Concepcion's play on Royster in the 3rd. Morgan's play on Office in the 4th inning. There's a call strike. Davey again, robbing Bonnell in the 7th. Good play by Dreesen, going way off in foul ground to pick off Royster's pop in the 7th inning. Swinging a foul out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Camper with a new baseball as he goes to the rosin bag, now rubs it up. Kenny with a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Morgan on deck. The wind, the pitch. Ball 3 is outside. Griffey coming into this one had hit .333 over the last 14 games. 3-2 pitch. He strikes out swinging. Credit Buzz Capra with his 2nd strikeout. Here's Joe Morgan. He has singled in 3 official trips, walked, stole a base, his 49th in the 5th inning, and scored a run. Run number 112 for Joe. Foster with the run scored tonight. He has 117. And Ken Griffey with a total of 108. They're the 3 Reds with 100 runs plus scored. Ball 1 to Morgan. Rose at 91, but he has not crossed the plate in this game. Morgan bluffs a bunt on a slow curve inside. Ball 2, 2-0. And George Foster is going to get a shot at his 2nd straight 4-hit game. He had 4 hits in San Diego yesterday and has had 3 tonight. Ball 3 is high, 3-0. Ray Knight will go down to begin loosening up in the Cincinnati bullpen. We may see him at 3rd in the bottom of the 9th. Morgan swings away on the 3-0 and pops it out of play. Capper requests a new baseball from Jerry Crawford. Three and one on the batter, Morgan. One out, top of the ninth. Capper pitches, and Morgan swings and pops this one up. Back of the plate. Might be a play for Murphy. He's at the screen, and it's out of here. Foul ball. 9,471 on hand for this series opener, with two more games still to come. 7:35 tomorrow night, and an afternoon affair on Sunday. Well, as Capper starts into the windup in preparation for the 3-2 pitch, Morgan calls time and steps away. Now the payoff pitch. That's grounded to first base. Montañez one-hands it and beats Joe to the bag. 2 outs. So here's Foster now. After striking out against left-hander Mailer in the first, he singled to left in the third, hit a long triple off the fence in right center to drive in a run in the 5th inning, and singled into right center in the 7th. George was commenting yesterday about the fact that he did not expect to see too many good pitches to hit the rest of this season. The fact that he's got 49 home runs and trying to become the first player in 12 years to reach 50. But he has been a very disciplined hitter at the plate in the sense that when pitchers have been pitching him away, he's simply been going with a pitch. He takes a pitch outside from Capra. That's pretty good examples tonight. His triple and one of his singles have gone to right center. He hits one to deep left field. There's number 50. George Foster with a line drive home run to left field. His 50th home run of the season as he touches the ball, rounding second base, the first player in 12 years to hit 50 home runs in the major leagues, not since 1965 when Willie Mays hit 52. Has anybody reached the 50-homer plateau, and Foster has just lined one to straightaway left field for his 50th home run of the season. It has been a truly amazing year for this man offensively. Not only has he hammered the long ball with greater consistency and greater regularity than anybody else in the big leagues, but he has been a good hitter. Now Johnny Bench takes the breaking pitch down and outside. So Foster has gotten number 50 with 7 games remaining in the season. Bench is swinging a miss. And there cannot be a hotter hitter in Major League Baseball right now than George Foster. 8 hits in 2 ball games. Bench lines one to left field. That's going to fall in for a hit. Matthews races toward the line to cut it off. And John will settle for a long single. That home run also gives George Foster the new Cincinnati Reds club record. He had been tied with Ted Kluszewski with 49. Clue hammering that figure back in 1954. So Foster sets a new Reds club record for home runs and becomes the first player in 12 years to hit 50 in a season in the big league. The Reds now with 11 hits in the game, with a homer by Foster and the following base hit by Bench. Here's Dave Concepcion. He's had 2 singles and 4 trips and has scored 2 runs. 5-1 Reds lead it. Davey with a line drive in the center field. That's going to be caught on a diving grab in center by Brian Asselstein. Nice play. Fine defensive play by Asselstein in center. But here in the 9th inning for Cincinnati, 1 run on 2 hits. 1 left, and after 8.5, the Reds 5 and the Braves 1. Braves are staring at a 4-run deficit as we move to the bottom of the 9th inning. Foster with his 50th home run of the year. A no-doubter to straightaway left field off Buzz Capra. George with a couple of RBIs tonight. He's now knocked in 144. His 4 hits give him a total of 192, meaning that he is 8 away with 7 games remaining to reach the 200 mark. And, well, you could take a long, long time talking about the year offensively that George Foster has had. It's been amazing. Ray Knight is the new third baseman for Cincinnati. Pedro Bourbon, after retiring the Braves in order in the 8th inning, will be facing Bunnell, Rocket, and a pinch hitter for Buzz Capper here in the 9th. Just been informed by our traveling secretary-to-be, Doug Bierman, that ball that Foster hit for his 50th home run, and a club record it is, has been retrieved from the left field bleachers. So the memento will be saved. Here's Barry Bunnell, and here's Bourbon. He fouls a pitch away. Bunnell is singled again, and was robbed of a third straight hit on a good play by Concepcion in the 7th. Barry only 2 points away from the 300 mark. Strike one pitch. Line drive, base hit left field. This young man's got a bat full of base hits. He heads for second, and he's going to be in standing with a double. Leadoff double by Bunnell, stationed out at second. There he is, and here's Pat Rocket, a single and 2 trips with a walk. Low and away, ball 1. Cito Gaston is on deck to pinch hit for Buzz Capra. 5-1, the Reds lead the Braves in the home 9th inning. Bunnell with his third hit a double to left field. Bourbon checking in with Bench, and the 1-0 pitch. Rocket takes, and that's a strike. Count even, 1 ball and 1 strike on Rocket. Here's a swing and a pop-up. Foul ground off the first baseline. Johnny Bench draws a bead on it, and he squeezes it for out number 1. Cito Gaston will come on to bat for Buzz Capra.
Cito Gaston batting for Capra.
Gaston hitting .277, has homered 3 times with 21 runs batted in. He's done a good job as a pinch hitter for the Braves, and coming off the bench, he's hitting .333, 12 for 36, 2 pinch hit home runs, and 14 RBI. Bunnell second, 1 away, the pitch. Gaston swings, ground ball to short. Concepcion makes the pickup, throws him out at first as Bunnell advances to third base. So the Braves come down to their final out as we go back to the top of the order for leadoff batter Jerry Royster. Royster has had an infield single. He's grounded a short fly to center and popped up in foul ground to Dreesen. There's an out away from nailing it down in the series opener here against the Braves. Bourbon with a pitch and Royster with a take, a strike away at the letters. Now the 0-1 pitch. That's grounded to the glove side of Concepcion. The pickup, the throw to first, and this one belongs to the Reds. In the 9th, Atlanta with a no runs, a base hit, no errors, but now left at third. The Reds win their 7th and 9 on this road trip with a 5-1 conquest.